Hello, I am here today with Angela Roman, who is our Children's Ministries Coordinator at First Baptist Church. I'm Mark Archibald, and it's good to be with all of you today, and it's good to be with Angela. Hello, Angela.
Hi, Mark.
How are you today?
I'm doing great, thanks.
That's good, that's good. So one of the reasons I wanted to I wanted to talk to Angela for a couple of reasons. I wanted to find out what her experience as a family has been like during the past year of COVID-19, but also what her experience has been like leading children's ministry during COVID-19 when we really can't gather and be together and those sorts of things. So COVID-19 has caused a number of barriers in our lives, a lot of changes and challenges. Angela, what kind of barriers and changes have you noticed most significantly within your family?
I think the greatest barrier is that you can't be with people. Building relationships and people is what our family is about. And when you can't physically be with people, that's a big barrier to building those relationships, keeping them alive or building them deeper.
Yeah, that would be a very difficult thing to do. Yeah. So the same question for the church in terms of like the children's ministry. I mean, it's always great to have kids in children's ministry, but with the barriers and the different changes in place, what things have you found challenging that way?
So again, the people aspect is really challenging. Not being able to be in person is hard to teach because so much of what we do is relationship based, is those kids knowing their teachers love them and feeling God's love through the actions of their teachers. So that's a big barrier. The second one is being able to do active and hands-on things when you're working with a screen. So it's been challenging to figure out ways to get kids moving and interacting when it's a screen they're watching and not a person that they can see and interact with.
Yeah, I would agree. That's tremendously challenging. So with the barriers, though, you know, we have these barriers, we have these restrictions in place. But in a weird way, when we have those barriers, when things are kind of taken away, when our boundaries are defined, it seems like opportunities come out of these things as well. So what good things have you experienced in the life of your family during this time of COVID-19?
So one of the biggest things that we have found is with the limited number of extra programs or events to attend is we've had a lot of time to spend just with the five of us, which was a rare thing. We rarely found ourselves alone. We would always have another family or a group of people with us. So we found that we got to spend time together, just our family, and do things that we hadn't done before. So in the spring, we did an incredible amount of hiking together. We did a lot more camping than we ever did because our weekends were always free. And then one of the coolest things that we did was we started doing music together.
Yeah.
We always make some long-term kind of 5, 10, 20-year goals. And one of them was to actually be a family band someday. We did not anticipate that would happen in 2020. That was definitely a longer term goal. But that was something that was really cool that came out of this, was that the kids all really got into their instruments and got into playing together. Mm-hmm. So very unexpected, but a really cool thing for us.
Yeah, and I would say, I mean, we've seen in our worship services and different worship events, we've seen your family take part in those, and it's been really neat to see. It's been really like it's been good too. It's not just been like, hey, at least they're doing something together. It sounds good, and we can worship with it. So it's been excellent. So we really appreciate your family contributing that way. How about with ministry, with the new boundaries and restrictions in place? What kinds of things in ministry have you experienced as positive changes within that?
So some of the positives I've seen with ministry is that, well, one of the biggest things is that families are getting involved in their kids' spiritual growth in a totally new and different way. Sunday school is very separate. And when you ask your kid what you do in Sunday school, they'll say nothing. Kind of like they do nothing at school all day, right? But now parents are doing Sunday school with their kids. And it's cool to hear parents talk about the conversations they've had or the experiences they've had with their kids because they're doing Sunday school with them. I couldn't have planned building faith as a family better than COVID. It's forced us to do this together, and I think that's so cool. The other thing that has been really neat is there's been kids join in that may not have come in person. Some people are hesitant to come to church because you do have to interact with people. You have to answer why you're there or who you are. And we've had some people join that may not have joined in person. And I think that's just amazing that they are comfortable enough to send an email and say, hey, we're watching, we're listening. Can we have a package to participate? So yeah, God is working, even if it's just through us doing Sunday school online.
Yeah. I know in our household, like I know my son always looks forward to Sunday school on Sunday morning of getting the iPad and taking part in Sunday school. And then there is those interactive components that he's very happy to do. And so I know, like, it's not just, well, I've got to get through this to get to the rest of the day. It's he looks forward to it. And I know I've heard that from other families as well, that they that kids rush into it and are very eager to be involved with it. So, I mean, it's challenging to do programming in that way, but I know it's been enjoyed and kids are learning. It's been great. And the families are doing it together. So there always seems to be some look over the horizon to see, you know, we have vaccines coming. We have this hope that we will get through this. And so with that, we look to have changes that kind of get us back to where we were at before. And of course, there's all kinds of reasons to look forward to that. But what are some of the things that you would like us to take away, maybe as a family first, but then also ministry-wise? What are some things that you would like to take away from this time that you'd like to take with you into whatever's next?
I think the biggest thing is remembering that people is what is important. We have discovered that we can't go places and do things that we normally do, but the people are still there and we've connected in different ways. And it's easy to get too busy to fit people into our lives. So I hope that we take that forward. I hope that as our family can get back to hockey or dance lessons or in-person school, that we'll still prioritize time to spend with our family, immediate, and not always fill our calendar or fill our days to be so busy.
Yeah. And is there anything ministry-wise that you are wanting to take forward from here?
I hope we can take forward the idea of growing faith and growing relationship with Jesus with our kids, that it's not something that's done separately, that it's something we have a lot of conversations about and is more integrated in our daily lives because it's in our home. It's not just at church. So I hope we take that forward. I hope that kids continue to ask their parents these questions and have those cool conversations.
Yeah, I think that's good too. And here's another question. Is there anything that you think you will miss from this past year?
Well, personally, we'll miss the time we have together. Our youngest daughter, Anna, actually said the coolest thing. She said, COVID is the best because we get to eat lunch with Dad every day. And we've been really fortunate. We are working from home and our kids are schooling from home. So we've had the chance to eat meals together, go on walks together. And to hear her say that COVID was the best was shocking, but also really cool. And so we will miss that time that we get to spend with our kids. I'll miss sending them back to school. Don't get me wrong, there are moments that I will love them being back in school. It's lots of work, but it's also been a season that has been really special. And when it ends, we'll miss that. We'll appreciate seeing other people and being able to do all the things we haven't, but we will miss being together.
Yeah. I think that's a really good takeaway. I think that helps us with right now, right? I think a lot of times we keep looking forward because we're so tired of meeting over the computer and we're so tired of the restrictions and we miss things so much. I think for a lot of us, though, there's things that we need to make sure that we take advantage of them right now because we might not have them again in this form. And so, I know that's probably not the case for everyone, but I think for some of us, that's definitely there for us just to take a moment to look around and see what is it that we have right now that's unique to right now that we really ought to embrace while we have it, right? And so I think that's, I think that's a real powerful um, story that you shared about like the lunches. I think that's amazing. So,
Mhm.
yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Angela, for your time today. We're really grateful for the ministry you do with our church and for your family's involvement with our church and just all the ways that you guys are making the most of the moment as challenging as it is. So thank you.
Thanks, Mark.